Hello, hello. Happy Friday. I'm back from Argentina back in the pink room here in Beacon in New York, and there's massive piles of snow outside. But it's nice to be back. And a quick introduction, if you don't know me, my name's Sarah Mack. I'm a copywriter and creative business coach for artists, healers, and coaches like you who want to live out your big dreams of freedom and fun. And today I'm going to talk to you about 3 big lessons that have helped me to create more freedom and balance in my life and business. And yeah, I learned a lot actually from my trip to Argentina. I was there for a month. I put Argentina and Uruguay, and I just like doubly proved to myself kind of what I had an awareness of but hadn't really put into practice, was that sometimes when you work less, you get way more done. And it was just bringing that fun and adventure and inspiration into my life that brought a whole load more balance that really benefited my work life and my business. And, I earned more money last month than I have done the previous month, like few months. I worked less. I was a lot less stressed. Well, that's not true. There was definitely some stress. With obviously moving is stressful. Traveling is stressful because it's physically draining, especially moving from, switching to very drastically different climates from very cold. I was in Paris before I arrived in Buenos Aires, and it was really, really hot and humid. So I had a lot of physical symptoms to deal with, which was stressful. And, having to adapt to trying to figure out my way in Spanish when I don't know I know a few words, but really like nothing helpful, although I drastically improved over the month. But anyway, my point here is that through, I wanted to make the most of my time there, even though I was working and I couldn't take, the full time off because, I have a couple of businesses that I'm running at the moment. But really, I obviously narrowed down my workload to the bare minimum that I needed to do to stay consistent, to be really focused, to serve my clients, to the best of my ability, as I always do, and not let anything of my adventure impact that, which I didn't, and I made it happen. And I also had an amazing time. I took a couple of long weekends off. There were a couple of days where I just, took half days and really made the most of my time and did some walking tours and, went to see some tango shows. I took loads of tango lessons with my partner. We're currently learning. So that was amazing, getting to learn so much about the culture and be there long enough to really, soak it up a little bit. And so it really proved to myself that, I've tried before to just work flat out and to put everything into my work because I was so passionate and, really driven to reach my goals as quickly as possible. That didn't work for me. It led to burnout. It led to emotional imbalances. It led to actually not being that productive despite putting in all the effort. So what I'm really realizing is that it's those other pieces that create balance. It's the time out, it's the inspiration, it's the enjoyment, it's the physical rest. And that was like really proven to me in the results that I got from my last month of adventuring, and really succeeding as a digital nomad. So, and another point I wanted to mention was, one of the reasons why I quit my career in film production was because, well, obviously I wanted more time freedom. I wanted more, it was very, very like intensive, energy draining career because the hours are so long. There's a lot of travel and a lot of movement. And really I wanted to claim back that time and energy and be able to prioritize that on my own priorities. And I went from, leaving a career thinking, yes, I'll never have to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning to go travel to a film set in the dark. And I've got back, and this week I actually started getting up at 5 a.m. because I wanted to create that momentum in my business. And it's been really amazing. And I just thought it was funny that I left my career working for other people because I didn't want to have to get up early, and I wanted to be able to not set an alarm, which I have done for years. But I've actually got to a point now where I love what I'm doing so much, and I'm so passionate about my goals, and I'm so aligned with the career and the business and the life that I've created for myself thanks to that freedom that I choose to wake up at 5 a.m. because I'm so excited to get that work done and to have really high productivity and to move towards those goals that I've set for myself faster. And on a side note, that the amazing thing about getting up at 5 a.m. is that it gives you the gift of time. You know, do you ever start your day thinking I'm already late, or I should have started work by now, or I've got so many things to do, and you begin with that feeling of I'm behind and there's not enough time and I'm tired and I'm stressed. And when you begin the day in that feeling, which I often did because I would start a little bit later sometimes, then, you know, it was almost like I knew I was going to end up working late into the evening, which is just not enjoyable to do that all the time, because you miss out on so much life and you miss out on that real like rest and rejuvenation before you go to bed to get ready for your next day. And just starting my day at 5 is just, I begin the day with that feeling of I have so much time, like I'm already ahead. And then that feeling carries through my entire day, and it's amazing how much I get done. And then even if I end up working a little bit late, say I finish at 5 or 6 p.m. and that's a long day, that's the latest I'll ever finish, and I still have, you know, like a couple of hours I get to enjoy some daylight before I go to bed. So I'll probably talk more about my experience of the 5 a.m. club another time, but for this session, I would just want to talk about 3 things that were big perspective shifts for me that really helped me to create more creative freedom and balance in my life. And it's not really about scheduling, even though that's what I thought it was about for a long time. And it's not really, I mean, it is about, it's about productivity, but kind of inadvertently. So the first one obviously is freedom. Like the meaning of freedom to me is the freedom to choose to be you. So like I said before, you know, I wanted to create the freedom of to get up whenever I wanted. And now I've realized that it's not the getting up time that's the freedom part. It's the having the choice and being able to choose what my priorities are and what I'm getting up for. Like that is what has created the feeling of freedom for me. And, you know, the freedom from having to fit myself into other people's ideas of what I should be doing. Like that's really what is draining. That's what's time consuming, and that's what's boring. That's what steals your freedom, is having to answer to other people's ideas of what you should be doing with your time and your energy in your life. So, you know, and I learned from working in film, like you can earn good money in a job that you don't love, but like I would just burn, you know, I would earn a lot of money very quickly, and then I would just burn through it just as fast as I earned it, because I didn't value my time enough to invest it in the things that I was really being called to spend it on. You know, I felt like I was giving my time away to something that I didn't really value for my life, and any value that I kind of obtained from that exchange would just disappear as quickly. And now that I have the freedom to call the shots and, you know, really decide exactly what's going to happen with my day, because I'm working for myself, I've learned to value my time and my energy so much more, and I'm so careful about where I invest it, and I'm very conscious about the choices that I make. And that has had a ripple effect in my life, like just being conscious and really valuing my time and my energy, and saying, what am I saying yes to and what am I saying no to, and investing that in the things that are building towards my happiness and towards the impact and the goals that I want to create. So that's number one, is just understanding freedom as choosing to be you and making the choices that feel good to you and that you're making for a reason, because they're important to you and they matter to you, not to somebody else. Okay, number 2 was when you choose to have confidence, you complete tasks faster. And this has become apparent to me throughout my career. Obviously, when I started working as a writer, it was brand new to me working as a copywriter, and I, you know, even though I didn't doubt my ability to write, there was still a lot I was learning about the industry, and you know, it was a very big learning curve for me at the beginning. And obviously not having that real, like, coming in with a high level of confidence, which of course you don't when you start anything new. You're building it through experience. Obviously things would take me longer than they do now, because, you know, just from repetition and experience. But one thing that I have noticed is there were certain things that, you know, even if they weren't dependent on, you know, other knowledge and that learning curve, causing it to take more time. I even notice in the days where I'm feeling really confident and on my game and I know my value, I complete things like this. And, you know, one job can take me like a half or a quarter of the time one day. Then if I'm on a day where I'm a little bit low energy, or I've, you know, been feeling so good about myself, or not prioritize self-care, and I'm, you know, got all of that doubt just like swirling around and zapping my energy, and the same task, the same type of job can take me so much longer. And I've seen this in new writers as well that I mentor. You know, sometimes it takes them a really long time to do a new task, and I know it's because they're lacking confidence and they are second guessing themselves. And instead of coming in at the work and whatever it is you're doing and creating in your business and your life, just thinking, I'm capable of doing a good job of this, you know, I'm going to bring my best to it, and I know that my best is going to be good enough, otherwise this opportunity wouldn't be here for me right now. And so really just choosing confidence is an amazing productivity tool that saves a lot of time, and, you know, obviously helps you to bring that balance. So yeah, self-doubt and worry are just very energy consuming. Hesitation drags out any process and causing it to take longer. And not only that, but when you're in that lower energy, you block yourself from the inspiration to take quantum leaps, or to, you know, have that brilliant idea that you just you didn't even hear because you're so busy doubting yourself and worrying. So when you have confidence, you perform at such a higher level than when you don't have confidence, not only in the amount of time that it takes, but also in the quality of the work that you're capable of producing. So no matter what your business is, you know, just choose to come in at it with confidence. And of course, you know, be aware of the areas of your skill set that you need to improve in and that you want to work to improve, but don't come at it from a position of I'm not good enough, or I suck, or, you know, being ashamed. And really focus on your capability and what you're confident with. So number 3 is balance comes when you feel like you're enough. So it's kind of similar to the last point, in that when you have that self-doubt and that lack of confidence, that comes from this feeling of not being enough. And this can lead to other behavior patterns and traits that completely undermine your productivity, like overdoing, overworking, worrying, overgiving, people pleasing, saying yes to what everyone else wants and getting burnt out. All of these behavior patterns are deep rooted in a feeling of not enough. A lot of the time you won't take a break. You won't stop to do nothing, because you'll be just constantly thinking, oh, I'm not enough, I haven't done enough, I need to do more. And you know, and then once you shift out of that feeling and that perspective, you'll stop doing things like giving your time away for free when it doesn't feel like an inspired or like generous thing that, you know, you really feel called to do and you really want to do it. You'll stop saying yes to other people's priorities before you've taken care of your own. You'll be much more satisfied with who you are. And when you do that, it just, you create so much more space for yourself. You know, you give yourself permission to take a break. You give yourself permission to put your prices up. You give yourself permission to say no to the jobs or the clients that you just, you know will be an expenditure of energy that's really not worth it for you, or that you're not going to enjoy, so that you create space for more of the work that you do really enjoy. And yeah, so if just like have a little think about those things. You know, if you are struggling and you're feeling like you don't have enough time, or you're feeling imbalanced, or you're feeling burnt out, or you're feeling like you're not really satisfied with the work that you're doing and you want to create more freedom in your life and your business, you know, try and think about it from that perspective, like how you have the freedom to choose whether to choose things that are important to you or not. What are you choosing, and what would you choose, you know, if you really were following your desires and you were committed to creating the freedom of enjoying living your life the way that you want to live? Are you choosing to be confident, or are you falling into criticism and self-doubt? And are your imbalances coming from a feeling of not enoughness and feeling like you have to push yourself and you have to overwork and you have to overgive because you're compensating for that inner feeling of not being enough? So reflect on that and let me know if anything comes up for you. I'd love to hear your feedback. And also, I just wanted to tell you about the Facebook Live I just did on my Juicy Copy page, which is for my copywriting business. So it was on creating an elevator pitch and value proposition. So I go a little bit into how to break down, you know, how to incorporate your values into the value proposition of your business. And why that's really important when you're, you know, you're talking about what you do. And it's really useful to get in touch with your values if you haven't done that already. So if that sounds like it would be useful to you, head over to my Juicy Copy page and check that out. And another announcement, I'm about to launch my 6-week program to uplevel your dream business. And I'm going to offer it at 50% off for the first 2 clients. So if you're feeling a little bit stuck, and you need some mentoring to find clarity on what your next steps are, you know, how much you want to earn, who you want to work with, and you feel like you're in need of a mindset reset to create some really exciting momentum and consistency in building your dream life and business, drop me a message for we can book in a free discovery call to talk about how I might be able to help you with that. So happy Friday, everyone, and have an amazing weekend, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye.